Hey there everybody, it's markcrilley. I'm back with another video. This is part 3 in my ongoing series of videos showing drawings that I did back in college. I'm going to start by showing you a study that I did of illustrations by the great illustrator Charles Dana Gibson. He worked back in the, around the turn of the 20th century, I should say. And boy, I think he was truly the master when it came to pen and ink. If you want to learn about pen and ink technique, you probably can't find a better guy to teach you than Mr. Gibson. Of course, he's long passed on, but you can study and learn from him by way of his illustrations, which is exactly what I was doing in these drawings here. Now here almost we have a kind of stylistic whiplash as we look at the work of someone who was definitely not a master of pen and ink. It was me, just kind of goofing around in my spare time. Always have been fascinated with pushing myself to adopt different styles, and that has continued straight down to today. So that one day I'm trying to draw like Gibson, the other day I'm doing weird cartoony stuff like this. I never could settle down into one particular style. It's just the kind of artist I am. So here we move away from pen and ink and have a look at a pencil drawing. Knowing me, it was just an ordinary number 2 pencil. And looks like a drawing of a bathroom. I just decided to draw and attempt to capture the reflection in the mirror above the sink. Sort of interesting. But this shows you how tightly controlled some of my pencil work was in those days. But again, you're going to see other illustrations that are much looser and much more experimental. In fact, let's have a look at one of them right now. So here we have a very scribbly style. I used to do a fair number of drawings like this back then. It's been a while since I tried it, but who knows, maybe I can do that as an upcoming video. Using this very energetic, like deliberately messy style to create a certain effect. It's kind of fun, and I think it would be maybe a good challenge for me to try to return to my roots and do a new illustration in this style. Now here we have something much more traditional in technique. It is a study of a oil painting by Singer Sargent. It's just a detail from it, actually, because the original one is called Portrait of 3 Young Women. I didn't get around to drawing the third one. Evidently ran out of energy, but you can see a lot of these diagonal lines kind of built up to create a tone. That was a technique that I used a lot, certainly not something from the original painting. It was just my method of creating an area of gray or black. And again, that might be a fun one to bring back for an upcoming video. I certainly used that technique an awful lot back in these days. Now we return to pen and ink. This is a kind of caricature drawing that I did of the singer-songwriter Suzanne Vega. I haven't done very many caricature illustrations over the years. I'm certainly no expert at it, but I know that people tend to choose 1 or 2 of the features and then exaggerate them. I zeroed in on the eyes, and I don't know if her eyes are quite as intense as I made them in this drawing, but it's a fun area of art that I should probably look into more. This idea of celebrity caricature could be fun to try to teach myself this technique. Now here's something really quite unusual, and it's kind of isolated. I don't think I did any other illustration quite like this. It's a study of a Japanese scroll painting, and I did it all with just watercolor, even doing the line work with brush. That was certainly unusual for me in those days. I wasn't working in watercolor that much, and I suppose it was foreshadowing my interest in Japan, which would, come to almost take over my life a couple of decades later. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy seeing this. I'm surprised at how well it turned out, given that I did not do very much watercolor back in those days. So here's quite a large pencil drawing that I did, a sort of unusual fisheye lens effect that I was going for. That was certainly not something that I did very often. More typical is this idea of coloring in certain parts and then leaving other areas blank. I was doing a lot of that back then. Could have been out of artistic preference, could have just been plain old laziness. I will not reveal the truth about that. But interestingly, that idea of sort of only finishing part of the drawing, that is not something that I have returned to very much in the subsequent years. And let's wrap things up for now with this last little drawing study of cats. I wish I could claim that I was looking at real cats when I drew this, but what I was doing was copying the illustrations of my teacher and mentor, David Small, really a master of drawing animals of any kind. But I think I was looking at his picture books and just doing little copies because I admired and still do admire so much the way that he draws cats. And let me know what you thought of this video. I think I can do at least one more showing my old work from college. And I do want to apologize for the sound of my voice today. I have a bit of a cold. People sometimes say I sound like Kermit the Frog. I think today I sounded a little more Kermity than usual. But we'll be back next week with a more traditional how to draw video. Until then, I want to thank you for watching this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back with another one real soon.